This is my YouTube channel that I need to do for existence's sake. And initially I just want to call it the Cold Bean Challenge. So in the infinite future, consumption is not going to be something, because consumption means we literally eat stuff that defines us and thus become defined incorrectly between us and everything. So to initiate that process, I'm working on being vegan, and I want to eat beans cold instead of hot, because of course the temperature of the beans still aids worse context. So yeah, this is what I want people to do for this brand, to move into the future and branch into something more ethical, as all brands should, in terms of where our definition is defined or not. It's just eat cold beans rather than heating them up. I don't know how much food that is for an average body to eat and cook close to a meal. But I don't believe it tastes much different. And that's what people should do. The Cold Beans Challenge. Not much of a challenge. I don't know, depending on your creed or expectations, I guess. But as the previously most strong male in existence or whatever, I have to lead the trend. So I think from this day forth, if I do become vegan, how that pans out in the real stressful world, it will start the ball rolling on getting farm animals, a place to live in Britain, and something more than food. And combine, trying to make cities into more rural areas again, with minimal buildings or architecture, for more focused living, but between us all arrangement. Yeah. The one thing I find as someone that drinks and occasionally takes drugs at the moment to cope is that my social self becomes on lock and key to when I get that drug or that drink, which means I'm not 24/7 cultured with everybody else to talk. So I think that's something else we need to do. And of course, the animals is have a dialogue that includes everyone 24/7, and focus and passion and drive to truly define what we really are, from the false definition that we're currently freeing us from since my birth. Yeah. Right, well, the Cold Bean Challenge. I don't know what my mood's going to be, because admittedly said drug was available quite well today, thanks to my buddy Martin here in Bristol, who has an ancient reserve of it for these new engagements into all life forms on Earth. But I'll try and do it. I'll just eat some cold beans each day and tell you what I am, so you can feel and know it yourself. what I want people to do is just define themselves as honestly as possible. You know, so every time you're opening your mouth or feeling, you're saying something honest, saying something progressive towards everybody's experience. And cool, we're only 37 years and whatever past November the 3rd date it is now into it, of the 6,000 years we need to do before we start bonding into infinite love. But truly we're into a good leg of it now. Since my birth, so many things have improved. Yeah. Rights of racism or class difference. I don't really think even have much of a place. War is unfortunately still though bound by, we just said this a lot and you said this a lot, which we need to start letting each other off for, because it's not the most important thing ever, is it? Because it all has glitches in it, you know. Allah or God, for instance, you know, Jesus or Muhammad. Well, we know who they are. I'm technically who God would be, and a life form you can speak to. And I'm not saying there's something wrong with you, other than your influenced behaviour by the evil that put us here. So some of it's just become sort of like, we now speak in a negative cycle. We can't stop speaking in to be any more positive, to stop doing it. And we don't need to do that. Evil is not something we're trying to satisfy, we're trying to dissatisfy at the moment. And they'll take what they're given for their feed as we reduce it and slowly bring them into reality with us to be punished. Right. That was called Being Challenge 1. Now I'm going to try and open a YouTube account and reasonably keep it. Now I think I'm a bit more clear on what I am and you are on a base level for it to be broadcastable.